The 952 is welcome.
I'm from the 218.
218, 651. Everyone is welcome at 612 Saturdays.
I'm from the 313. How about me?
That's Detroit.
Yeah.
Sure. Enjoy the weekend wind-up with 612 Saturdays presented by Carbliss. $6 drinks, $1 snacks, and $2 food. When we're together, the Twins rise as one. Join in at twins.com/tickets.
For a limited time, employee pricing for everyone at Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls. From America, for America. Get employee pricing on most new Fords. Some exclusions apply. Get a new 2025 F-150 and save up to $12,000. Buy below invoice like Ford employees and get the newest model at $12,000 off. Employee pricing for everyone from Ford and Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls.
It's Morning Talk on News Talk 1250 KBRF, brought to you by Pioneer Care and Fergus Falls Monument Company. Now, here's Mary Dolan and Dave Bishop.
There we go. Good Thursday morning. It is 9:10. Morning Talk on News Talk 1250 KBRF. It's kind of feeling Monday-ish, Mary.
Another Monday. My goodness.
They're coming up. They're just spraying up left and right.
Well, I don't know about you. It feels like a Monday for me in terms of coffee. So Monday, I feel like got to have the biggest cup, the boldest cup.
Yep.
I'm kind of feeling like that today, just because it's kind of dreary, kind of chilly, and I don't know. This cup of coffee tasted really, really good this morning.
Well, I mean,
it always does.
When
but
doesn't coffee
yeah,
taste good?
I know it always does. And in fact, I've got two coffee makers, one for the lake and one for home. But one is a Keurig that only makes up to 12-ounce cups. That's the largest cup. My other one makes a 14-ounce cup.
Ooh.
And I got to tell you, those extra 2 ounces pay off when you are driving 30 minutes to work, because you've got the drive and then I've got the hour to sit here.
Yeah.
You know, so it's important that a girl have enough coffee. So I swapped my coffee makers. So I think I'm just going to get rid of the 12-ounce one because it only makes 12 ounces. It's just not enough.
Oh, I'd just like to point out, we do have coffee, well, I don't know.
We do, but no, we don't have this coffee.
15 steps to your
We don't
left.
have this coffee.
Okay, you don't have that coffee.
No.
Or no, you could do.
What?
You could bring, if you're going to get rid of that Keurig, just bring it in here, and you can make coffee here.
I could. Yeah.
We've been without a Keurig for about 2 months.
Oh, no. Well,
this
this is one of those Keurig duos that has the pot and the single serve.
Oh, wow,
I know, they're very nice. It just only makes 12 ounces. It's just not enough. And I didn't even realize that till I got this other coffee maker, which I like better.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I have...
I think my parents' Keurig does 16 ounces.
Does it?
Yeah, they've got like a super fancy one.
Oh, my gosh. Well, here, I thought I was being fancy. Oh, it's not fancy. I care about...
No, there's you can check the strength. You can check the temp.
Yep, I can check the strength, not the temp. That's
you
good,
can adjust
too.
the temperature if you want it hotter or colder, and I don't know, it's fancy.
Yeah, you got, oh boy. Yeah, and you can spend a lot of money on coffee makers, boy.
Yes, yes, you can.
Okay, I got to get this microphone out of the way. There we go. Now I'm seeing you full view. Okay, well, I watched something that I thought was so good this morning, and if you didn't see it, you need to go online and watch it. It was a press conference, and it had the Joint Chiefs of Staff chairman, and his name is, I forget his first name, but they call him Raisin Kane. His last name is Kane. And it was Pete Hegseth and Raisin Kane. And they were holding a press conference at the Pentagon telling this group of reporters exactly what happened on Saturday night. Now, we know that there was a leak. There was some early information that didn't know exactly
Didn't know all
what
the
had
details.
happened. Didn't know all the details of the strike and whether or not it was, 200% accurate, which of course it was 500% accurate. But anyway, so then that leak gets out, and then these reporters run and twist the story so that it is failure for Donald Trump. Well, Pete Hegseth said, all you did is mar the integrity and kick our pilots in the teeth, our military, and all the people that had to do with this incredibly successful mission. And he was obviously angry with, with the media.
Yeah.
And then they opened it up. Then they actually showed video of those bunker buster bombs going into the ground.
Ooh, nice.
and the explosion. I mean, and then he walked you through every single piece that was happening.
I'm gonna have to watch that.
It was very interesting, and he was so articulate, did so well, and then he handed it back to Pete Hegseth, and then they opened it up for questions. Do you know what one of the first questions was? How come you said the boys and the bombs? Weren't there women too?
Oh dear Lord.
And he's like, you know what? I'm not even playing your stupid game. You know what I mean. We have said that there were female pilots, and they are every bit as big a hero as the men. We are talking about heroes across the board.
Yeah.
Not even playing your stupid game. But these are the kinds of things that the reporters are asking.
Yeah.
And, Pete Hegseth was a Fox News guy, and he even went after the Fox News person and said she was being stupid. He said, you're one of the worst.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it was interesting. And there were reporters that kept asking about the success of the mission. Well, how do you know? Do you know this for sure? Let's talk transparency, blah, blah, blah. And Hegseth went after every one of them. And the level of stupid in the question asking was just anti-American, honestly.
Yeah, that's generally how those press conferences go, and it's General Dan Kane. I looked it up.
Dan Raisin Kane. Now this is a little bit of Pete Hegseth.
Because you, and I mean specifically you, the press, specifically you, the press corps, because you cheer against Trump so hard, it's like in your DNA and in your blood to cheer against Trump, because you want him not to be successful so bad, you have to cheer against the efficacy of these strikes. You have to hope maybe they weren't effective. Maybe the way the Trump administration has represented them isn't true. So let's take half-truths, spun information, leaked information, and then spin it. Spin it in every way we can to try to cause doubt and manipulate the public mind over whether or not our brave pilots were successful.
Isn't that good?
Yeah.
I mean, and that is just a snippet. I mean, I would love if we had time to play the whole thing, but we don't. Anyway, it just was so well done, and I found it so interesting to talk about the mission itself, and for Dan Kane to break it down into what was happening. And I did not realize this, and maybe I've been in the dark. I don't know. But do you know that there have been people that have been working on this mission, knowing that eventually down the road they would have to come up with a plan to obliterate exactly what they did, this nuclear power capability. And they have been working on this for 15 years.
Yeah, the bombs they dropped were specifically designed to blow up that facility.
Isn't that amazing?
Yep.
15 years people have been working on this. So you think this just was like, hey, what do you think, Bob? Should we drop the bomb tonight? Well, which one should we use, Jim? I mean, this has been strategic for the last 15 years and beyond.
Those bombs were developed specifically to destroy that bunker.
Unbelievable.
That facility.
I had no, I mean, we don't know what's going on, with, what's being developed in terms of weapons. But just imagine the number of years and hundreds, they said, hundreds of test bombings in different sites to see, is this going to work? And boy, did it work. But The media just does not want to believe. So here we are, a press conference about a major mission over this past weekend from the Pentagon. Fox News was the only one I saw that covered it.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah, no mention across the rest of the broadcast TV stations. So, but I would encourage you, go, and if you have the Fox News app, it's the top story. And go and listen to that entire thing. It's unbelievable. It was really well done. And
Yeah.
so full of information. And I just thought, it's very technical, but I thought, General Kane just dialed it down for us all to understand.
And I've kind of mentioned this about to Pete Hegseth. One of my wife's cousins actually served in Afghanistan with him.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So she said he's a stand-up guy. He really liked him. So
Well, it's very clear that he is very frustrated with the media.
Oh, yeah.
And he's very clear in that, of course, he was a military guy, like you said.
Yep.
And he just takes it as a direct kick in the teeth that people are saying, well, I don't know if it really worked. If you want to hate the president, I guess that's your deal. Go hate the president. Do what you got to do. But you cannot diminish the unbelievable mission that our U.S. military carried out.
And it's just the nature of those press briefings. It's like everybody wants to get their soundbite, and then they want to spin it their way. I have a neighbor out at the lake. He used to be the deputy, number 2 at the Anoka County Police or Sheriff's Department, and so he had to handle all the. So he'd be the deputy sheriff. So he had to handle all the media briefings down in Anoka County, and he said he hated it. And he goes, Dave, I don't want to, make fun of all media people, but wow, it's like he'd see how his press conference got cut up at the 6 o'clock, and then it would change by the 9 o'clock, and then it'd change again by the 10 o'clock. And he goes, by the next day, I don't know if they strung 2 words that I said correctly together.
Yeah, it's really, it's too bad. And it's just another one of those things that you just can't believe what you see, can't believe what you hear, can't believe what you read anymore. But this made me feel super American after I watched it. I was so proud of our military. I was so proud of the people who for the last 15 years have been working on this very specific thing.
Yep.
And I just found it to be very interesting, and I think you will too. So please go on today. You can just Google search it. You can go to Fox News. They will have it in its entirety, and it was really well done. So I can highly recommend that. Well, President Trump revealed that the U.S. and Iranian officials are scheduled to meet next week for discussions on these current events. The exact details of the talks, including their location, participants, and purpose, were not disclosed. Okay, so for probably a variety of reasons, including our own United States media.
Yeah.
These guys are going to be so tight-lipped about every stinking thing they do because they don't even want to tell the Democrats. They don't want to tell Congress.
Because Congress will leak it.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what happened. But there is an FBI investigation into that, and they're going to find out who leaked that information, and there will be consequences.
There needs to be.
There needs to be, and I hope that happens. But again, everything is going to be kept very, very closely, tight
to the
vest. Because nobody trusts anybody not to twist and turn the information in a way that serves their narrative. So anyway, conflicting reports have emerged regarding the extent of the damage, of course. Nobody wants President Trump, at least on the left, nobody wants him to be successful. But I think, too, we have to even just look back at other presidents who have had kind of this same worry, this whole nuclear worry, but never had the guts to really go do anything about it.
Yeah.
So now we've got a guy who said, hey, diplomacy, diplomacy, diplomacy. We want to talk, and nobody was willing to do that. So, all right, we gave you plenty of chances. Here it comes.
One thing I'm guessing that was in that press conference, because I saw the headline come in while I was doing a little show prep and setting up all the equipment in here. It said that General Kane said that they didn't even see the stealth bombers and the aircraft. So that's
Yeah, boy, I tell you, it was it was really
they had no idea that all those strike packages were coming in because
Right.
you had stealth bombers, you had F-22s, you had F-35s.
Yep.
And they're all stealth.
And every crew
Yep.
a hero.
Yep.
Every member of those crews. And the other thing he talked a lot about was in Missouri. I can't think of the name of
Whiteman
that
Air
base.
Force Base.
Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri. There was a lot of heroes working on that
Yeah.
place too. Or in Qatar. So here's a U.S. base that they're bracing for a hit.
Yep.
So they get all the personnel. There were 44 people left on that base, and there was a 26-year-old, I think, lieutenant, and in charge of kind of pushing the button to send the Patriot missiles to go after incoming
Yep.
potential harm. And these guys are heroes too. I mean, they saved that base.
Yep.
And you got everybody off there, you got all your equipment gone, and you leave 44 people behind, 44 heroes to defend that U.S. base.
And that wasn't the only one they were shooting at. They shot at a couple of the other
Right.
bases too.
But-
So.
Yeah, but that one he mentioned specifically.
Well, because that's if I remember right, that is the largest military U.S. base in the area.
Well,
So,
anyway, and we don't think about those things, and
Yeah.
a lot of times we don't hear about the heroism happening sort of behind the scenes, if you will. But anyway, again, I would encourage everyone to go and I think if you Google this morning's press conference with Pete Hegseth from the Pentagon, I'm sure you'll find what I'm talking about. But it's worth the listen. Probably take you about 15 minutes. All right, coming up on 9:30 break for the markets. We're back with more on Morning Talk.
Back with more Morning Talk with Mary Dolan and Dave Bishop. Brought to you by Pioneer Care and Fergus Falls Monument Company. After the markets on News Talk 1250 KBRF. Depend on it.
Today on Hot Talk with the Ox, right away hear how the end of the Israel-Iran 12-day war is holding up, and if we have any more battle damage assessments. Then Hennepin County Attorney Mary Moriarty launches a new initiative on dangerous driving for some reason, and Chuck Schumer was taken to the hospital for a drink of water. Likely something bigger will come up, so tell your friends, and we'll see you for Hot Talk with the Ox from 2 to 5 on KBRF.
What's the ox say?
Aquarius Home Services brings you the Fix It Fun giveaway. Text the keyword home to 218-321-1926 and register to win $2,500 towards any new system purchase or upgrade. This is your chance to replace or upgrade your home heating, cooling, or water treatment system, or tackle large plumbing or electrical project. Get registered now by texting home to 218-321-1926 for the Fix It Fun giveaway. Thanks to Aquarius Home Services, your local heating, cooling, water treatment, plumbing, and electrical experts.
I'm Jessica at the Fergus Falls Monument Company. I'm the first person you see when you come through the door, and I also talk to customers every day on the phone. Many of them find choosing a memorial ahead of time is convenient and works best when there is time to plan and think about it. Planning ahead not only gets you the everlasting memorial of your choice, it also helps your family through the grieving process. At Fergus Falls Monument, we can help you plan ahead and choose a memorial made right here locally. Call or stop in or visit us online at foreverstonememorials.com.
You want to feel important, you want to be part of something bigger, something that matters, and that you can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We felt that way too. I'm Sergeant First Class Daphne Pierre from Robbinsdale, Minnesota, and that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Minnesota Army National Guard soldiers. We are people just like you, and together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit nationalguard.com/MN to find out more. Sponsored by the Minnesota Army National Guard, aired by the Minnesota Broadcasters Association and this station.
We're fired up for the 4th at Fleet Farm with deals that'll help you celebrate in style. Save $200 on a Traeger Woodridge pellet grill. On sale now for $699.99. Stay hydrated with 8 packs of Gatorade, 2 for $15. And get 1 gallon 4 packs of Liquid Pool Shock for just $14.99. Get ready for Independence Day with these specials and more at your local Fleet Farm. And check out all the items in our weekly ad, backed by our best price guarantee at fleetfarm.com.
Live music this Friday at the VFW in Fergus Falls. Enjoy entertainment from Julie Lee and the White Rose Band, performing this Friday night after bingo. So grab your hat, throw on your boots, and head down to the VFW Post 612 on Washington Avenue in Fergus Falls.
Find out why the markets are moving. Get in-depth ag information with the Red River Farm Network on News Talk 1250 KBRF. Depend on it.
Good morning. Market update on the Red River Farm Network. I'm Randy Conan. Grain markets continuing to trade mixed here this morning. Agmarket.net head specialist Jacob Burke says the grain trade seeing a little bit of a calm before this Monday storm trade.
I do believe that the first 3 days of this week, going into the end of June, where we're going to see a lot of numbers, a lot of data coming out on Monday, starting to find a little bit quieter trade. Volume's a little bit lighter. We've seen the beans trade in a 8-cent range here this morning. The corn market's traded in about a 5 or 6 cent range, but just kind of flip-flop on both sides of unchanged. Not a lot of direction in this market. We're at some very pivotal support levels in the corn and beans both. On the wheat market, you're looking at a same type of mentality.
Livestock trade fairly quiet today so far as well.
We started off the day on moving higher, and feeder cattle are now up 50 cents. We got 40 cents lower in the deferred months of the live cattle. Not a lot of movement. I think you're kind of sitting around looking for some cash trade here to give this front month of the live cattle some direction. We're seeing but still continued strong demand across the box beef sector. Didn't see the beef exports this morning, but we're looking at the domestically not slowing down yet as far as the need for beef. I think the hog market here is started to get a little bit of sniff that maybe the ramping up production there. We'll see that hogs and pigs report, I believe, today.
Beef cutouts expected to be mixed today on light to moderate box movement. You're listening to the Red River Farm Network.
They say seeing is believing, and nothing catches the eye like the 7 bushel per acre yield advantage of Veltima fungicide over other fungicides. But don't just take our word for it. See it for yourself. Run a comparison of Veltima fungicide. Enter the Real Results Yield Challenge and experience the difference it makes in your fields. And when you share your experience with us, you'll get a chance to win a 2-year lease on a new truck. Sign up at yieldchallenge.basf.us. No purchase necessary. See official rules for details. Always read and follow label directions.
Boost your crop's health with Domark 230 ME and Badge SC fungicide exclusively from Gowan, USA. Domark's systemic action teams up with Badge's outstanding mixing properties for unbeaten disease control on sugar beets and dried edible beans. Experience the power of 2 different modes of action with Domark and Badge. Don't wait. Contact your local ag retailer and ask about Domark 230 ME and Badge SC. Always read and follow label directions from Gowan, USA.
Dedicated, dependable, and delivering the information you need. It's Don Wick.
The response from ag groups has been lukewarm at best.
Randy Conan.
The popularity of biofuels has helped create more demand for crops.
Jamie Dickerman.
Nitrogen prices continue to tick higher.
And Tyler Donaldson.
A weather system is set to move into the region beginning tomorrow.
Whether it's happening in the farm field or the halls of Congress, we deliver the information that impacts you and your business. We're the Red River Farm Network, and we're reporting agriculture's business.
From the Northern Plains to South America, World Weather Incorporated senior meteorologist Drew Lerner is your trusted source for agricultural weather.
Precipitation-wise, we're not looking at much moisture. Well, yes, we will have a few more spits and spats turning around in the afternoon, though, and starting a warming trend. We'll see accelerated drying occurring across the region. And yes, precipitation is going to be minimal, so the ground will firm up aggressively across the region. It still will be
Drew Lerner, only on the Red River Farm Network.
July wheat Minneapolis down 7 1/4 cents, 6.04 1/4. Chicago July wheat's down 3 3/4. Kansas City July wheat down 4 1/4. July corn down 1/4 penny, 4.10. December corn up 3/4, 4.23 1/4. July soybeans down 5 1/4, 10.20. November soybeans down 3, 10.15 1/2. In Winnipeg, July canola is down 30 cents a metric ton. June live cattle 47 cents higher, 222.07. August up 2 cents. August feeder cattle 42 cents higher, 302.72. September's up 32. July lean hogs down 10 cents at 112.72. August down 2 cents. Dow Jones Industrial Average is 261 points higher, 43,243. This is the Red River Farm Network.
I'll never forget the time our annual meeting nearly fell apart because our venue was too small. We were practically elbow to elbow, and it was impossible to stay focused. Then I found the Bigwood Event Center, and it was a game changer. Their space had just the right feel, roomy and flexible, whether we needed a smaller setting or a larger space, or both. They even set up an outdoor area for our team. They thought of everything. It made all the difference. Meetings with impact begin at bigwoodeventcenter.com.
Today on Hot Talk with the Ox, right away hear how the end of the Israel-Iran 12-day war is holding up, and if we have any more battle damage assessments. Then Hennepin County Attorney Mary Moriarty launches a new initiative on dangerous driving for some reason, and Chuck Schumer was taken to the hospital for a drink of water. Likely something bigger will come up, so tell your friends, and we'll see you for Hot Talk with the Ox from 2 to 5 on KBRF.
What's the Ox say?
Keeping you company out on the lakes, the Minnesota Twins, and News Talk 1250 AM KBRF.
Hey, Twins territory, it's Chris Atterbury. Twins are off the Schneider with a shutout win last night, looking to make it 2 in a row against the Mariners, split this series before heading on the road. Simeon Woods-Richardson gets the ball. We join you at 11:30 with our lineup card, 12:10 first pitch. Coming up today with me and Danny on your home for Twins baseball.
News Talk 1250 AM KBRF. Depend on it.
KBRF presents Where to Eat, the culinary adventure sponsored by Dandelion and Burdock and Service Food in Fergus Falls.
Hi, I'm Zach Daniels.
And I'm Dave Bishop, your guides to the region's culinary treasures.
Join us as we explore various restaurants, uncover delicious meals, and highlight each restaurant's signature dish.
Experience diverse cuisine types, unique atmospheres, and must-try dishes. Check it out on KBRFradio.com and the Fergus Now app.
New episodes air every first Friday of the month. Where to Eat, powered by Dandelion and Burdock and Service Food of Fergus Falls.
It's time to celebrate aging in Fergus Falls. This community event is geared towards adults 55 plus and is designed to help attendees navigate the maze of products, services, and resources available in the Fergus Falls area. Learn about healthcare, housing, finance, fitness, travel, recreation, and more. The Fergus Falls Celebrate Aging Expo, presented by Pioneer Care. See you Wednesday, July 9th from 8 to noon at the Bigwood Event Center. Admission is just a $1 donation at the door.
Community is important, and you'll find it at Pioneer Point. Spacious apartments, thoughtfully designed for older adults, provide the best in senior living. Heated parking and elevator access makes life easy. Your neighbors at Pioneer Point hold a welcoming, family-like approach to living. Choosing from an array of special features and options, you'll find many ways to define your lifestyle at Pioneer Point. Call or schedule your tour online today at pioneercare.org.
Rotary has been working to eradicate polio for over 35 years. Their goal of ridding the world of this disease is closer than ever. Rotary members have contributed over $2.1 billion and countless volunteer hours to help reduce polio cases by 99.9%. Since their first project to vaccinate children in the Philippines in 1979. It's crucial to continue working to keep countries polio-free.
This message in support of Sunrise Rotary brought to you by Fergus Apothecary.
Ready for your brand to make waves in our community? We believe marketing has the power to build meaningful connections, leading to measurable growth. And we're determined to be your partner in cutting through the noise. We are Leighton Media. And when it comes to your brand, our promise is to utilize every available option to amplify your business. Ready to make an impact? Connect with Leighton Media today. Our team is ready to work for you. Leighton Media, your success starts here.
News Talk 1250 KBRF. Listen anytime, any place with the Fergus Now app on your phone. Checking the forecast today. Topping out around 64, 56 for tonight's lows. Looking at a little bit of rain coming in here as we go through the afternoon. 76 tomorrow's high, 86 Saturday. A little bit of showers and thunderstorms possible Saturday into Sunday, and then again Friday night as well. 84 for Sunday's high, 82 Monday, 84 on Tuesday, Wednesday, up around 84 with a little bit of rain as well. Right now, Fergus Falls, it's 59. It is News Talk 1250 KBRF and Morning Talk, brought to you this morning and every morning by our good friends at Pioneer Care and at Fergus Falls Monument.
All right. Well, let's see. I heard Ox in his show promo there talking about Schumer needing to go to the hospital for a drink. He was actually working out on a stationary bike in the U.S. Senate gym, and he had an incident. Anyway, they took him to a nearby hospital. He was released and later participated in a meeting in the afternoon. So it was dehydration, supposedly.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why he said he went to the hospital for a drink. Leave it to Ox.
I got to get Dan up here again.
I know, he's such a hoot.
He mentioned that he needs to, come in market for a little bit and try to get some of his, I know the Ox t-shirts. He was going to send me a bunch of those.
Yeah, it's fun to have him in-house. You know, he used to work here. He was a colleague with us here for years.
His first radio gig was working on KBRF.
Right. And we had a lot of fun when he was around here. And his broadcast career really took off, and he does such a great job with that show. But and he's just such a good guy.
Oh yeah, Dan's a blast.
He is a blast, that's for sure. Let's see. There's so many stories in the news today. A little bit later, I'm going to tell you about there is a hotel in China, and they have a very specific wake-up call. So that's all I'm going to tell you for now.
Is it the come to work bell?
Nope. It's a lot more something that would wake you up a lot faster. I'll tell you about that coming up, so stay tuned for that. But wanted to tell you a little bit about there was a lightning strike, and we hear that lightning strikes are pretty rare, and there were actually 20 people that were hit by lightning strikes while swimming. This was in South Carolina. It happened Tuesday, earlier this week, prompting a response from multiple agencies. 8 adults and 12 kids were affected by one single strike.
There's lightning in the area. Get out of the pool,
I know.
Get out of the ocean. Get out of the lake.
I know, but fortunately, everybody is expected to recover. The lightning strike energized a metal cable with buoys in the water, causing injuries to those holding on to it. So, oh boy. Anyway.
Let's go find the highest thing in the area that's also made of metal and hang on to it.
Anyway, that beach park is set to reopen after safety assessments. They had to do some changing. Lightning Safety Awareness Week aims to highlight the dangers of lightning strikes. With 4 reported deaths in the United States already this year.
I believe it.
Yeah.
People are dumb.
Well, and you think you're not going to be the guy who gets struck by lightning.
I remember I was out fishing on West Battle, and I kind of had my back to apparently where the storm was coming from, and I was just, kind of enjoying my time. And all of a sudden, it started getting a little darker, and, one by one, when some of the boats in the area started leaving, and wasn't paying attention. Then I caught a fish, and as I was spinning around because it went around the other side of the boat, I look up and I see the storm coming across Battle Lake, and I'm just like reeling fast.
Oh, yeah, go.
It's time to go.
Do you know, I have learned my lesson, and it's taken me 2 or 3 times to learn it, but John and I before we had the cabin, we had a boat, and every weekend we would drop it in someplace else, and we'd, just go around the lake, and I was famous for saying, just 5 more minutes, or let's stay for another 30 minutes or whatever, And John was famous for, being smart and watching the weather. And there were a couple of times, one time in particular, The weather kind of looked a little iffy, but I'm like, oh, it's fine. Let's just keep going. And I really think we should get. I think we should get the boat off. You know, we should get, because at that time we had to load it, you know, on a trailer. And he said, I really think we should go in. I'm like, oh, you know, pish
It'll be
posh, looks
fine.
beautiful. I don't see anything coming. And that might have even been the days before some really good. We weren't looking at cell phones back then. That was, gosh, it was 30 years ago, 25 for sure.
Yeah.
And you know, so we didn't have the radar on our phones like we do today. We were just watch the sky and be smart kind of thing. Well, he watched the sky. I didn't do the smart thing, and I pushed it till we were loading in lightning and thunder and driving rain, and there was not a word said between between loading the boat and actually getting home. I think he was mad at me for the whole night, but. So I may have done that more than once. I don't know, but it will never happen again. If I say, should we go for a boat ride? He'll say, oh, it's too windy. We won't be able to back out of the lift. Then I'd say, oh, come on, we can do it, kind of thing, you know. And then all heck broke loose out on the lake. And again, I was in trouble for a very long time. So I don't do that anymore. I did learn.
You did learn, okay.
I did learn. And I don't do that anymore. If we're on the boat and he says we should head in, or there have been times where I've been out there with a boatload of girls, you know, and not always paying super close attention. And then I'll get a call from him on shore saying, okay, girls, time to head back. And I'm like, huh? And then, you know, you look, like you said, look on the other side of the boat, and I'm like, uh-oh. So you really do have to watch the weather.
I remember one time I went out, and it was when I was working nights, so I was able to go out during the day, get some fishing in. It was a little windy, but it was coming from the south, so it was kind of, the shoreline was protected. So I'm like, okay, no problem. Well, I went out, and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess it's a little too messed up, and maybe I need to do it. And while I was out, the wind shifted, and it went from my shoreline being protected and calm to not.
And that can happen in 2 minutes. It's unbelievable how fast that wind can change.
And so I'm trying to load the pontoon onto the lift, and it was blowing so hard.
It wants to go right through practically.
Well, not through. It just wanted to go up against the dock, and it didn't want to line up. I mean, I got a 24-foot pontoon. You really have to line that thing up. So I hopped out. I'm sitting here trying to manhandle this 24-foot pontoon by myself. All of a sudden, one of my neighbors saw me just sprinted over.
Struggling, yeah.
He went over and goes, I got your name, and then grabbed the front and helped guide it in. So he had the front and I had the back. And we were
for
able
neighbors.
to shove that in. But it just changed like that. It went from, it might be bad out there, but at least I can get in and out no problem. And then all of a sudden, whoop, it became a problem.
Switches. I know. And, you know, to get caught out there with a big boat like that.
Yeah.
And even a lot of times I take our pontoon out by myself. You know, if I'm home alone, it's a beautiful day, sometimes I'll go out and I'll just turn it off and read out in the middle of the lake. And sometimes you get, you know, so you're just not paying attention is the whole deal. Well, thankfully I have over the years learned my lesson, and I watch the weather pretty darn close because I don't like to get caught in that stuff.
And another quick reminder, we had a tragedy over on Lake Tahoe over the weekend where like 8 or 9 people were killed because of a storm. They didn't have their life jackets on. Put your life jacket, especially if things start getting choppy and get a little, you know, it's a little sketchy. Put on the life jacket.
Exactly. Okay, I'm going to tell you without making you wait any longer about the Chinese hotel, okay?
Can I guess?
Yeah, you guess.
Does it have one of the ejection beds where they just, the bed flips you up?
Nope.
Nope, okay.
Worse yet.
Worse?
Uh-huh. It's called the Red Panda Wake-Up Call.
Oh, they said Red Panda in there.
Not even kidding. They do. A live red panda. The hotel had gained viral attention, for its unique offering, which enabled guests, including children, to have a hands-on experience with red pandas on their beds.
Red pandas, for those who don't know, are about the size of a raccoon.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yep.
I'm imagining this big bear jumping on.
No.
But still.
Yeah, they're. I want to say they're about the size of a raccoon. Maybe
good size raccoon, probably.
Well, I mean, raccoons are bigger than you think.
Well, they are big. Anyway, hotel officials stated that there are 4 red pandas at the facility that would take turns visiting rooms.
Actually sounds kind of cute.
Oh my goodness. Well, I got to look that up. I in my head, I've got this big, giant bear on there. Hotel officials stated they have 4 of them. The duration that, the panda stays in your room, depending on the animal's temperament that day.
Oh.
Oh, you only get a 5-minute visit because this guy is in a bad mood. Oh my goodness.
And for those watching the stream, that's what a red panda is.
Okay, well, I'm going to have to look that up for myself.
Derek's got something too.
Okay.
There we go.
I just happened to tune in. You guys talk about red pandas, and they are one of the most adorable creatures on the planet.
Would you want one just jumping in bed with you to wake you up?
Sure.
They are cute.
Well, you guys ruined my whole story. I was imagining this giant bear jumping in bed with you. But anyway, yeah, so they unleash a live animal into your bedroom, and that is your wake-up call. But, of course, Animal Protection zoomed in and said, nope, can't do that anymore. It is considered animal abuse, as red pandas are sensitive creatures prone to stress responses that could endanger themselves or the people on the hotel bed. So,
and unless it's changed in the last 10 years, they are also an endangered species.
Okay. Well, anyway, they actually were ordered to cease the red panda wake-up call. Can't do it anymore. I think that's frightening.
I think it'd be kind of cute.
It would be kind of cute, but you never know what you never know what an animal's going to do.
I texted you a photo of what a red panda looks like.
Well, now I gotta go look. Yeah. Let's see what I think of that. They are cute. Yeah, it's like a teddy. It's like a giant teddy bear kind of with a long tail.
And they're, like I said, they're about the size of a raccoon.
They're more related to raccoons than actual panda bears.
It actually looks bigger than a raccoon to me, you guys.
No.
About the same. They're about the same
size.
Sure,
they are absolutely darling, but I don't need one. I don't need to wake up with, a live animal. I think that you don't know how they're going to respond. I don't know.
It says here a raccoon is generally bigger than a red panda. Raccoons typically weigh between 10 and 50 pounds.
Should we go on to the next story that you guys can absolutely pick apart for me?
Red pandas are between 8 and 17 pounds.
Okay. Well, they look bigger.
And they're adorable.
Okay. Well, never mind then. Whole stupid story. Sorry.
No, it's still a cool story. I mean, it's just you're not getting squished by one of those giant pandas.
I don't know. Anyway, they can't do it anymore. All right. Here is one where a 12-year-old... I love these little kid stories, displayed remarkable bravery, and I always think, boy, they must have been taught well as kids, rescued their family from a house fire. Upon hearing a strange sound, his name is Parker, he discovered his whole house was engulfed in black smoke. He didn't even hesitate. He carried his 1- and 2-year-old siblings to safety and then returned to the house to help his grandma out of the house. The Petersburg fire chief commended Parker for his heroic action, stating that the young boy saved his family's lives, said they probably, without his help, would never have gotten out. So, don't you love to hear a good story like that?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Just did a great job.
But the thing that worries me about that is the whole house is engulfed in smoke.
And nobody else knows?
And the smoke detector's not going off.
I guess, yeah.
Check
anyway,
those batteries, people.
They even offered Parker a future job with the fire department when he turns 18. They said he could come back. He said, incredible bravery and quick thinking saved that whole family. Here is a funny story. Now, I have done something kind of like this. Have you ever been, maybe you just got off the phone with your wife, or you were thinking about something that, involved your family or whatever, and you mistakenly called somebody on the phone something you didn't mean to, like, okay, sweetie, I'll talk to you.
Yeah, love ya.
All right, love ya. I've done that.
I've said that to Zach.
We do that in our house. We always say, love you, bye.
Yep.
And I have done that on professional phone calls before. All right, love you, bye. Ooh, and you can't get it back fast enough. Well, that's kind of what happened here. It was in a Colorado courtroom.
Oh.
To make it worse. And the attorney unintentionally addressed the judge as honey during a case discussion. The incident occurred while arguing the details in a sexual assault case, no less.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah, the guy that was being defended was convicted in 1994 of rape and other charges, was seeking a reduction in his prison sentence. And this attorney's slip of the tongue led to a very awkward moment as he struggled to regain his composure. Despite attempts to continue, the exchange remained very, very uncomfortable. Social media reactions highlighted the embarrassing nature of the situation, with users comparing it to calling a teacher mom. I bet that happens all the time.
Oh, that's...
Especially little kids.
That's
but
just brutal.
Honey, and nobody could recover. They just couldn't get around it. All right. Well, that sound signals the end of the show and the end of another week. So we wish you a good weekend, and thanks for joining us this week. Our show today and every day brought to us by Pioneer Care and by Fergus Falls Monument Company. Have a great weekend.